still live here on 3FM Sunrise, on 3FM 92.7. Keep playing *439#. I've already given out some cold hard cash this morning. I still have a little bit more to give, a little bit of Nuku Fuel, a little shmoney, a little Lucci to give out this morning. Keep playing. If you have an MTN line, *439#, choose option 1 for 3FM. It's raining cash. But let's get stuck straight into our Womanpreneur segment for the morning. It's a glorious Tuesday morning. Each and every Tuesday, we're learning from women in business, picking up tips and tricks, and also finding out how we can chart the path forward. We've been talking about the current economic climate, and it's no easy feat trying to survive in the world of business given the economic climate that we find ourselves in. But my womanpreneur of the morning is Adjoah Yeboah, CEO of K&A Cleaners Limited. Good morning, darling.
Good morning.
How are we doing this morning?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing so and so. You know, as a Ghanaian, one of the callers on the Voice of the People segment says the issues are many.
That one, dear.
Well, that one, dear, you can identify. We're living in a poly crisis.
That's true.
How do you keep your focus on any one issue?
So, business-wise, I'm just going to use my business.
Yeah.
It hasn't been very smooth sailing for us because the cleaning industry had a big hit when COVID hit. We had prices of things went up. We still had to maintain the same contract sums with our clients. Renegotiating contracts was like a whole thing. So we are still trying to recover. So personally for me, it hasn't been easy. Any of my friends that I speak with on a daily know
it's not easy at all.
Not easy at
In fact,
all.
I was even talking about the general climate, all the different issues that confront us as Ghanaians. But Adjoah is a businesswoman. She said, well, listen, I'm here to talk business, and business-wise, it's not easy at all. So let's take it a few steps back, actually. K&A Cleaners. So you've been around since COVID or before COVID?
Before COVID.
How old is the business?
It's 13 years, I
13
believe.
years. Wasn't started by you 13 years
by
ago?
my parents, actually.
Okay, you've taken over that business. Now it's your business, essentially.
Yes, essentially.
Amazing stuff. 13 years in the game is no easy feat. And 13 years ago, things were very different. When did you take over?
I took over 7 years ago.
7 years ago?
Yes, in 2016.
Adjoah, you look about 21 years old.
Ish.
Or is it a case of meninas
Ebiasa.
So 7 years ago, you take over from your parents, K&A Cleaners Limited. What was your background at the time? What were you studying? What was the ambition?
Okay, so I studied French and linguistics, actually. Nothing business.
Nothing business. Well, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Ça va?
Bien, merci. Toi?
Bien, bien.
Oh, okay.
That's where it ends.
So I studied French and linguistics. I wasn't business oriented at all, but I had seen the way they were running the business, and I kind of figured there's a standard that has to be met. And if I joined them for a short bit, I'd be able to help move things over and then leave it again for them to continue.
Okay.
And it's been 7 years and there's a lot more to do. I've had to learn a lot business-wise, and I think it's been a good journey.
That's amazing. It's no easy feat at all. And so definitely kudos to you. So you say when COVID hits, you really started to feel the pinch.
Yeah.
Like many other services where, you have to go in person and provide the service. Now, that was completely shut down.
Yeah.
Talk us through how, 2020 went and the recovery thereafter.
Okay, so when COVID hit, we had to start. People were still going to the offices anyway, so we do clean offices, we do janitorial work.
Okay.
And some offices were still open, sort of running the shifts. So the people who came in, you'd have to use 2 or 3 times more than regular detergents you would need.
I see.
Spaces. You'd have to sanitize every hour. So now the costs involved in running the business had tripled, or quadrupled, I guess.
That's an interesting perspective to think about, especially for those, like you say, in the cleaning industry. At the time COVID hit, you would have been spending more because at this point, everybody's freaking out.
Yes.
They want every surface, every inch cleaned.
Yes, and there was a hike because the demand was high.
That's right.
So the cleaning companies are also going against people who are in their homes who are neat freaks, who also want to keep their spaces clean.
Okay.
So then importing your things or even getting things on the market was was harder than usual.
Did you panic when COVID hit?
Oh, I did. My mom didn't, but I did.
She was.
She has the experience. She had the work experience. So she's like, you have to figure something out. If you panic, because I was just like, I don't know what we are going to do. I don't know how our clients are going to deal with this. But my mom just like took me through, sort of spoke to the clients. We explained. Some clients understood and renegotiated their contract terms, but some also were just adamant. They were like they weren't going to do it. So we had to figure a way around it, and yeah.
Okay, and so then fast forward, COVID is. Well, I would like to say it's long behind us, but actually we know that it's very much not the case.
Yes.
Another spike in cases across the globe, we're told, maybe a whole new strain. Who knows? COVID has been twisting and changing ever since her arrival. So, okay, COVID then starts to slow down, if you will, if that's the right terminology, and then business starts to pick up.
Yeah.
Now you're faced with a whole different kind of worms because the economy is not economizing. Are cleaning companies still at the mercy of the economy? What are some of the challenges?
Yes, we are.
Like any other business.
Like any other business. And also in Ghana, it's a bit more difficult because most people take cleaning as you're just coming to wipe my space and clean it up, sweep and mop. They don't take it very seriously. So when someone comes up to you and asks for a quote, for example, I just finished building my house. I want you to clean post-construction.
So you also do that type of service?
Yes, I also do that kind of service. And you're like, okay, this is how much it's going to cost. It's going to take the number of days. And you're like, but I could call anybody on the street to come and clean for me. But that's not the case because there are things that we have done. We've done a lot of training thanks to an association we are part of here, CCAG. And they've taken us tons of training to put us on the same standards as are maintained internationally. So then it's difficult going against, I'll say, a mop and buckets business. Because they would always undercut. They would always use bleach or acid to clean the tiles when that isn't what you're supposed to be using.
So you're not supposed to use bleach on tiles?
No, and acid.
And acid as well. Hey, we've been doing it wrong the whole time.
So if you realize you'd have tiles that are coming off after a while. You build your house, you have like your new set of tiles in like a year or two, the tiles are coming off.
It's because of the acid.
The acid has been working over that duration.
I see.
So it's something we advise against.
I see. Interesting. So that's one thing that you say you face as a big challenge as a business owner. Other people offering a less, I guess, thorough service than you are and charging much less. Do you find that some clients will eventually still find their way back to you because they've been unhappy with the alternative? That happens.
That happens a lot.
I see.
Yeah, that happens a lot. So you have someone come to you and go like, oh, when you gave me the codes, I went with someone else, but my tile, something happened. I had a case not too long ago. They'd used acid and the tile had changed. And he was coming back to ask, can you do something? There was nothing we could really do, just try to maintain the floor. But
other than that, it was too late. Now, with a business like this, cleaning, how many staff do you employ?
At the moment, we have about 80.
About 80?
80 people
working
with us full time.
Okay.
And then we have the team that also does the specialized cleaning. That's the post-construction, residential. We have different for that.
Is it profitable?
Ideally, it is.
Ideally?
When you have the right clients, it is.
It is, okay. Yes. Has it been a profitable year, would you say?
It has. This year, it actually has because thankfully, because we do a good job, we have clients referring us to their friends. And like I was saying, if you have the right clients, then you're kind of sorted. So all in all, it has been profitable. It's been a better year this year than the previous years because we've been recovering from COVID.
Okay. And now maybe you say you found your footing.
Yes.
What about adjusting to the high cost of goods these days?
So with that, we try to buy in bulk a lot of the times, which is like a thing where if you run a business like ours, you'd want to have a lot in stock so that you do not wait for the market price fluctuations to affect you that much. So we have suppliers, we have people we buy from directly, we have some things that we also buy locally also, some detergents we buy locally. So it hasn't been so much of a problem. Yeah.
For somebody who wants to do something like this, get into this business, start their own cleaning company, what would you say would be the starting blocks? What are the ingredients that they need specific to this type of business?
There's an association, like I mentioned earlier. They actually really helped me get my sort of like restructure the business. So it's called the Contract Cleaners Association of Ghana.
I see. Contract Cleaners Association of Ghana.
CCAG.
Okay.
So they have an onboarding process where they help startups, people who want to get into the business. They kind of help you with how to do HR, how to register your business. They give you they have these trainings for people like that. So then there's that. And also for women, there's also an African Women in Sanitation and Hygiene network that also helps you meet other women in other African countries who also teach and also share their experience.
That's amazing. And sometimes if you don't seek out these groups or associations, you might think that they don't exist, but there are ways in which you can help yourself get your foot through the door and get some much needed resource. Is it you have to pay to be a part of these associations?
Yeah, but there's for the African women's one, you do not have to pay at the moment. But for CCAG, there's actually a subsidized amount. It's not as much as the regular dues, but you have to pay something because you're going to be using their resources. Okay, so, that's amazing. And now you employ 80 people. Yes. That's incredible. Did you have to make significant cuts at the time that COVID was raging and reduce that number? That's the thing, we didn't.
We were able to retain?
We were tempted to. Okay. But there's a thing, we've been working with these people for so long and they've shown their loyalty over the years that at the time we had to try to push to do a bit more, like to push more to get them to still get their jobs, because at the time most people were losing their jobs. And
that's right.
It was we felt we could keep them without having much of a problem, so we did. We've had most of them on.
Amazing. So talk to us, Cleaners Limited. You guys do residential, post-construction, business, offices. Talk to us about some of your services.
We do events, cleaning, post-construction, residential, and janitorial mostly. Those are our main services we provide.
That's not a bad idea at all. You go to an event, maybe drop a flyer. Yeah. How do you go about marketing the business these days?
Mostly social media and by word of mouth. Flyers, word of mouth, because we realize social media too. Now you have to pay taxes on your ads.
Oh yes. So you're not ready to pay your taxes on the ads.
You already pay taxes every month, and
you are out taxed.
You're out taxed.
Tax here, tax there, tax everywhere.
You have to find a way to put your name out there. So then most of the time it's social media. We word of mouth. We have flyers also that we send out from time to time. So, yeah. Not
bad at all. I think that could be a top tip as well. Events, go to the events, hand out your flyer, because that's another big issue. People have events, and then afterwards, the cleaning up becomes a big issue.
True.
Why not outsource that headache to a professional who can to KNS to get that done for you? But what about some of the more challenging day-to-day issues that you face? Are there any peculiarities because you're a woman in business? Do you face that? People come in, maybe they want to speak to the manager and they see this baby-faced individual and they think, oh, no, I said the manager. I mean the manager. Do you face that?
Yeah, it happens a lot. And there are times when I have my administrator as male.
Okay.
So whenever I'm talking to someone, I'm dealing with somebody and I feel like, this person is going to be a bit difficult, I'm like, please speak with my administrator. Because then he's a man and they would respect him a bit more than they would respect me. It's sad. There are times when you are going to bid for a contract and there's someone in the office and he's like, okay, but do you want to go for lunch? Or do you want to follow me?
Follow you to where?
To my house in Kumasi. I've had like very
from Accra to Kumasi.
I've had very wild experiences, and it helped a bit when I could talk to women in the industry for them to also encourage and say, you have to learn how to navigate this the corporate world, or else you are going to suffer.
That is a shame that you're only going there to do business, but it's either you're getting undermined or, there's a lack of respect, or others want you to follow them all the way from Accra to Kumasi. It's a lot. What are you hoping for the business, for KNS Cleaners Limited, for the rest of the year?
So I'm just hoping that by the end of the year, we have a lot more clients. We are able to move to other regions also, and we're just trying to move into property management eventually.
Okay.
That's one of the goals.
What does that look like?
So, like, for example, the residences that you see, some of the the estates and stuff. There are people that manage those properties. So then we have like an all-inclusive service, not just cleaning, gardening. Probably we have a roster of electricians and all of that. So
so full management. That would be the aim.
Yes.
You say for the rest of the year or possibly next year?
Next year.
For next year. Amazing stuff. Well, from your lips to God's ears, as they say. But Adjoah Yeboah, thank you so much for kicking it with us this morning on Womanpreneur. I think we've definitely learned a thing or two. Consistency definitely being key. You stepped in 7 years ago into this business to say, well, let me just come and, tidy up here and then. 7 years on, you are still working, still at the helm of affairs. You've traversed COVID and the economy, still economizing, but you say it's been a profitable year. So we're definitely looking up to you and your business strength, if you will. Final words, and then you plug your socials for us, please.
Sure. I'll just actually I have to say thank you to my parents because
shout out to the parents. Shout out to them.
The opportunity, and also just to encourage everyone who's trying to run a business at the moment. It's not easy, but I feel like if you have a group of friends, if you have people that you can talk to, some mentors or something at least, it makes it a bit easier. So if you're starting a business, it's not easy, but just try to be consistent. Adjoah is telling us her tale, and she's been consistent. 7 years handling KNS Cleaners Limited. Consistency, passion, energy, all of the above. Plug the socials for us so we can find you. Okay, so we're on Twitter, KNA Cleaners GH, on Instagram, KNA Cleaners GH also, and on LinkedIn, KNA Cleaners Limited.
All one word, KNA Cleaners Limited. Yes. Amazing stuff. Adjoah Yeboah, thank you so much for your time this morning. Thank you for